Monday evening. Thank you for joining us on From the Halls of Justice. And this evening, we have an outstanding guest. This is Emma Sharif. She is the councilwoman of the 4th District in the city of Compton. And when I saw this photograph, I thought, what a beautiful, distinguished woman she is. And I thought she was tall, big, not fat, big, tall, And when she appeared in the studio this evening, she's an itty bitty tiny little thing. Little bitty tiny woman. You are so beautiful, but you're so little and petite.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes, you're absolutely beautiful. And Councilwoman Sharif, if you would be so kind, once again, you represent District 4 in the wonderful city of Compton. Thank you for being here this evening.
And thank you for inviting me, Wanda.
Well, we've had some wonderful guests on our show, and the wonderful Judge Kelvin Filer.
Yes.
And his family. I think they're all attorneys, and or at least a huge majority.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes.
And so that was just wonderful. And he had nothing but wonderful things to say about you. And you have right now in the city of Compton the youngest mayor. Okay, in the state of California.
That's correct.
And that's Asia Brown. We'll give a shout out to the mayor of Compton.
Yes, definitely.
And I would like to know, as a councilwoman, there's a couple of things I would like to know. Number one, how did you get started? How were you nominated? What made you want to become a councilwoman? And then outline for us, we were talking about this before the show, maybe the purpose and the mindset a councilwoman or person should have. So tell us about you.
Wanda, when I didn't actually, when I first decided to make a run for to get involved in politics, I was asked to run for mayor way back in 2001.
Really?
Yes, and I did.
Okay.
And because the community came to me, it wasn't something that I was telling someone. It wasn't something that I had decided to do pretty much on my own. I hadn't even really thought about it until the community came to me and started asking me about running for different positions.
Now your voice is so soft. I want to make sure we can hear you. So go ahead.
Yeah. So until the community came to me and started asking me about running for different positions, running for mayor, running for school board.
Okay.
And so I did run for school board as well.
Okay.
And I lost the election.
Okay.
And so I figured that would be the end of that. But what happened is that they ended up with a vacant seat, and so people had to fill out applications and everything, go through this process in order to get the seat. And
you were too good to be forgotten. Yes.
Well, what happened is that I didn't apply.
Oh.
I didn't apply for it from the beginning, and so they didn't accept the whole list of people that applied. So they opened it up, and I had an opportunity then to apply. So I did apply, and then they appointed me. And so it was amazing because I didn't realize that at the time when I applied, I had no idea that that they would choose me for that seat.
Wow.
I did it because the community asked me to. And I happened to be at a book signing for a previous mayor, and that was Mayor Tucker.
Okay.
And he made a statement. He said this. He said, "The position doesn't choose you. You don't choose the position. The position actually chooses you." And that's pretty much how it happened for me. I didn't choose this of my own. It was something that was bestowed upon me by the community. And I'm always grateful to the community for allowing me the opportunity to represent them and to continue to serve them throughout this community.
That's wonderful.
So I served 14 years on the school board, and now I've served 2.5 years here as city council person for the community.
2.5 years.
2.5 years as city council.
Beautiful. So you were appointed in the position.
I was appointed as a school board member.
As a school board member.
As a school board member. And from that, ended up pushing me pretty much into this seat because I was on the school board for 14 years.
So where did you come from? Were you born and raised in Compton, or where did you come from?
I am a Southern girl.
Okay.
I was born and raised in the South.
All right.
Yes. And so I came here. I came here at a very young age, about 18 years old. I came to California, and my sister was here, and she acted me. After
When you say the South, where are you from?
I am from a little small town called Forest City, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yes.
Okay, all
Yes.
right.
Forest City,
There's been a
Arkansas.
few politicians out of Arkansas.
Quite a few. Quite a few. As a matter of fact, when I was on the school board, we had 3 people. No, 2. Myself and Mr. Easter. He was from Arkansas, and then Miss Ship. She was from Louisiana. And I'm like, the Southern people, for somehow seem to always get involved in the political arena.
Well, they really support education, I believe, in the South. They're very strong.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Very strong when it comes to education. Yes.
Okay, go ahead. So
now I'm here as a city council person, which, as I said, I'm very grateful to the community for allowing me to continue to represent them and to continue to serve them. And it's been truly an honor doing it. And I'm looking forward to my reelection coming up.
Now you represent the 4th district. So how many districts are there in total?
There's a total of 4.
So there are 4 districts.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so there are 4 city council members, and then the mayor.
And the mayor. Yes.
Okay, and then at this point, how do you see? How would you explain the perfect mindset for a council member to have? What's your desire? What do you strive for as a councilwoman?
What I strive for is that I strive to make sure that I stand in contact with the community. That's my biggest thing, is to stay in contact with the community, so I understand what their concerns are, what their issues are. So I make sure that I'm representing them in the manner they would like for me to represent them. So that's, for me, that's the biggest thing, is to make sure that I'm representing that community, because even though I may have some issues or concerns of my own, my concerns never outweigh the community's concerns.
That's beautiful.
And should never outweigh them.
Now, I can see you as an educational school board member, and people will always turn up and turn out for their children, because, we are protective and we love our children. So when you get into a position now of being a councilwoman, how do you keep your community close to you? Do they turn out for the city council meetings, or do you have to follow up or knock on doors or talk to them, or what do you do?
You have to do it all.
Oh, really?
The meetings we have, very few people come out to the meetings. Most of the people at home, and it's televised, so they get a chance to see it on TV.
Okay.
And so that's one way of us staying in contact, letting them know what's going on. They watch the meetings, they know what's going on there at the meetings. But also, to what I do is that I make sure that I have community meetings.
Okay.
In those community meetings, I make sure that I invite the community out, so that I can share with them some of the things that's happening there in the communities, especially things that may be happening there in 4th District that I really want them to be aware of. And not only that, is that it gives me an opportunity to get feedback from them. So that I can make sure that, okay, we're on the same, we're still here together. Like, I'm not way over in one way to the far to the right, and they're over here to the left. We're right here together. We have the same concerns. We have the same, and I'm addressing their concerns. And then I also make sure that I stay in contact with the business community as well.
Right.
So I have a business roundtable every other month, and where I invite all the businesses to come out, and I talk and listen to them, address their concerns, and because I believe that they are part of their community, and and their concerns need to be addressed as well.
One of the questions here about you is, are you a believer in the broken windows theory? But what I would first like to ask is exactly, what is the broken windows theory?
The broken window theory is that if you have a building and you have a broken window, it's for you to try to repair the window as soon as possible, because this way it will keep other people from breaking out more windows in that building.
Okay.
Not only that, it will if you repair it early, it would also stop vandalism. It would also stop squatters from being in the building.
Okay.
And so these are the things you try to do in order to try to make sure that you keep that down. So you try to make sure that you repair those windows in a timely manner, in 1 to 2 days, try to get it repaired. So this way the community won't look at it just being an abandoned building.
Okay.
And so yes, I definitely do support that
the
theory.
broken windows theory. Beautiful. Okay. Now, it says that you will be up for re-election in 2019. So, what are your goals for your second term?
Well, my heart's desire is to see Compton Boulevard, the whole renovated.
Compton Boulevard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's something I would love to see happen. And I also want to make sure that we continue to stay focused as far as addressing the issues as street infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
and the development of the community, of the city, period, throughout. And so those are the things that I'm really looking forward to working on once I'm re-elected.
Okay. And now this falls under it being Compton Boulevard being reconstructed. What else would you like to accomplish? I like your broken windows theory and the reconstruction of Compton Boulevard.
Yes, working on the parks,
Okay.
making sure those parks, all our parks are in the children and the community have everything at the different parks that they need,
Mm-hmm.
and also trying to make sure that we continue to beautify the community.
Okay.
And so I think that those are the things that to me is going to be great for the community, and it really changed the community,
Okay.
the look of that community. That's it.
Okay. All right. Now, once again, I like the fact that you said that nothing should outweigh what the community desires, and so it's important to keep in touch with the community. Why do you think Compton residents are so apathetic about voting in local elections?
You know, when you take a look at it, it's not just Compton. It seems to be throughout all the cities. And I think some of what it is that people are so busy with everyday life, really just trying to survive. And so that's why I think it's important for us to continue to have the town hall meetings, continue to stay in contact with the community, to try to make sure that they keep them informed as to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times people do not bother unless it's something that impacts them directly.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something on a ballot that's going to impact them directly, then they're probably will go to the ballot, go out to vote.
I was going to say, now, if it's a big issue right now would be one of the biggest town hall meetings I saw, and I couldn't believe there were so many people there. It was packed out. It was about health care.
Mm-hmm.
It was packed.
It was packed
out.
out. Yeah.
There were lines. and I thought, is it the food? Is it the free food? No, people were mad and concerned
about
their health
That's
care.
right, because they know that is something that's going to impact them directly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's exactly what I mean by that.
Yes.
And so, because some people are even working 2 jobs,
Mm-hmm.
trying to survive. So it's very, and sometimes I kind of understand that and by them doing all that, sometimes they don't take the time to go out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at trying. I know they're looking at trying different things in order to try to encourage more voting and everything. So hopefully that will work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just that people have really busy lives.
Well, when it does affect them, I do believe that people get involved.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we were talking. I want to stay on a positive note. And I like the fact that you ran a positive campaign. So one of the articles that I read about, and I addressed it, and I spoke to you earlier about this, was someone who there was an issue on the council, and they didn't focus on running a positive campaign, and they had a little bit of an issue with you.
Well, yes, it happens. Hey, that's all part of the politics.
Okay.
It happens,
Okay,
You
all right.
address it and you keep going because those things happen.
That's right.
And you still have to remain focused on what you're doing, and you have to continue to make sure that you are there for the right reason, and that's to make sure that you continue to represent the community that has elected you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Now, we focus on the right things, and we want to keep our city moving forward. So, what are the responsibilities of local government officials?
Our responsibility is
And take your time.
Okay.
That's it.
the responsibility is really to first set policies.
Okay.
And through by setting policies and good policies there for the city, it actually, that's how you govern the city.
Mhm.
Is through your policies, through setting policies. But not only that, you have to make sure that you are staying in contact with the community, that you're out there, and that you engage in the community.
Right.
Making sure that you're sharing information with them, making sure that you understand what their concerns are, making sure that their concerns are being addressed.
Mhm.
And so those are the things that I see is extremely important as a local, as being a local elected official, is to try to make sure those things are being done.
Mhm. Okay. All right. And since we're staying in touch with the community and making sure that we want to get things done, how is the work of local government officials relevant to each of us?
You know, that is something that I really want the community to understand.
Mm-hmm.
The decisions that we make locally impact you directly.
Okay.
And that's why it's so important for people to make sure that they look at the candidates, make sure when people are running, to make sure that you look at people and that you choose someone that you feel though truly have a desire, a true desire to represent that community. Because those decisions that we make on those council affect you every day. Every day. Because we're spending your money, remember? This is your money we're spending. It's not our money, we're spending your money, and you should, and the community need to know what is happening when we are spending those dollars. Because this, the budget is always something that you have to deal with, because you have to make sure that you stand within your guidelines dealing with that budget, because you have to make sure that you are spending the taxpayers' money wisely. And so, that's why I say it really does impact the citizens greatly, because those decisions, please believe me, when you go to the polls and we put something on the ballot, you go to the ballot to vote, it's impacting you directly. Directly. It's like we did the 1 cent sales tax and everything. That's something that's impacting the community directly, because your sales tax went up. When our sales tax now is up a whole penny, 9%, not 10%. People are like, wait a minute, when you go to this store and you start buying things, you start realizing, wow, how this really did impact you. But
it's no longer that 8.25.
No, not that 7.25. No, not anymore. So those things, like I said, those things, that's why it's important for the community to know and understand who the people that they are asking to represent them, to make sure that those people are really have a desire, a true desire to represent them in the manner they want to be represented.
Now, this might not have anything to do with the city of Compton or anything else. It's just that I know that the way the lottery actually got on the ballot and passed was that everything they said is that it's going to go to our schools. It's going to go to our schools. That's why people voted for the lottery.
That's
it's going to be fun. You can be a millionaire, and it's going to go to our schools.
Yes.
Well, how much of that money is actually going to the schools? That's what we found.
Yes, because when I was on the school board, there was a course, and people used to come to me all the time, and they would say, well, what about the lottery money? And I'm like, wait a minute, they're thinking we're getting all this money from the lottery. And then I would tell them, you know how much money we're getting? Well, what about all this money that you're getting? It was constantly, all the time, wanting to know what is happening with the lottery money, because they thought we were really getting a lot of money. And I'm like,
and it didn't happen.
Well, first of all, we're not Los Angeles Unified School District. Understand something?
Okay.
Los Angeles is a much larger school district than Compton Unified School District.
Okay.
So the amount of money that we were getting is nowhere near what they are going to be getting.
Okay.
And so they had to finally start realizing that, and I finally told them how much it was. They said, wait, well, and this is where the money is. But it takes a lot of money in order for you to be able to run a whole district, and also to run a city. It's not. You have to just take a lot of money, because you have the employees that you have to think about. You got the health insurance that you have to think about. All these different things play into all of this. So like you said, the lottery money. We got pulled into this thinking that we were going to make a lot of money
for the schools.
For the schools.
And that's why people voted for it.
That's right. Help it as far as education is concerned, but that didn't really turn out to be.
Didn't work out like
didn't
that.
Work out like that. No.
Okay. And what is, it says one of your top priorities to improve the public's perception of the council. It says as it relates to repaving the streets in the city. So what kind of program do you have going with that?
Well, it's focusing. I think what it is that we have to continue to stay focused
Mm-hmm.
on addressing the issues as far as paving the streets.
Okay.
We have to make sure that we continue to repair our potholes. We have to make sure that we continue to do beautification.
Mhm.
We have to make sure that we continue to work as far as making sure that our parks and everything is up to par.
Mhm.
These type of things will actually change the perception of the community and what they think or how they feel about certain things that we're doing.
Mhm.
And then, we also have to make sure we stay focused on making sure that we get these streets done.
Mhm.
That's a biggie for all of us because
Mhm.
not only for just the residents, for also businesses as well.
Mhm.
And for other people that want to come into our city and also shop.
Mhm.
If you got bad streets, nobody want to come into your city. So we have to make sure that we address those issues and making sure that we stay focused. As long as we stay focused and making sure that we get these things done, I think that the community will definitely get behind us and support us in whatever we want to do.
Okay. Now, we also decided here, let's see, are there any hot topics you want to bring out and just comment on? I'm going to leave it up to you. You can comment on it if you like. I'm going to give you that opportunity.
Well, is that one of the things, the hot topic now for the city of Compton is most certainly the issue dealing with the marijuana because right now we will be facing this and we'll be coming up in January. We're expecting it, which probably will be on our ballot.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have a special election. It'll be on the ballot January 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
And the community right now is a little divided,
Mhm.
and rightfully so, and I do understand that. Is that but right now is that we, the community, the council, following the concerns that we thought of the community.
So let me ask you something. I thought that it already passed in the state of California.
It passed in the state of California, but what it did is that they passed it in the state of California, but the cities still have a right to make a decision as to whether or not they want to legalize in their city.
Really?
That's correct.
Even though it passed in the state of California?
Mm-hmm.
So now they're going to go from city to city?
City to city. Each city has a right to make a decision whether they want to allow it to be legalized in their
Mhm.
city. There are some cities that is allowing the legalization. There are some cities that saying no.
Mm-hmm.
And so they left it up to each city until 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have not made a decision by 2018, then
Mhm.
naturally you're going to have to, whatever is in place there with the estate, that is what you would have to adhere to.
So I understand that there's a difference between the state is agreeing to legalize it and then what the federal government is agreeing to recognize. And then on the news the other day, I'm not that well educated on it, so I'm just talking about what I saw on the news. And they actually have a marijuana entity now
Mhm.
in the government where they're looking for pharmacists, engineers,
Yes.
people who know their pot. That's what they said.
Mhm.
You know.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, it's a lot. Yes, they're looking for all those different people because you think in terms of the testing of it. So it's a
Mhm.
lot of different facets to this thing.
Clerks and secretaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna need everybody.
That's what.
You're gonna need
So
everybody.
I guess my question is, if the state is making that big of a deal over hiring people for this portion of what it is, how long can there be a standoff between state and federal? Because it doesn't make sense to me right now.
Well, to me, that was my concern. It was always been and will be, is that is the crime is whether or not it's going to be an increase in crime
Mm-hmm.
within our cities,
Mhm.
and especially there in my city, because I have to be very concerned about that.
Right.
And by the fact that there's no way for them to put the money into banks, that is a concern for me, because
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if the government is hiring engineers, this is an official government building. they're going to put it in a bank because they're going to be taxing it.
Well, that's on the state level.
Uh-huh.
On the federal level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I say we're not together.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the federal level, that's a whole different thing. You can't go put the money in the bank. So I'm like, wait a minute, what's going to happen here? And naturally, it's caused a lot of people to get robbed. It's caused a lot of people to lose their lives because of the fact of the money being in those buildings, being in the dispensaries, being in the cultivation shops where they're cultivating it. So those are the type of things that I'm concerned about.
Well, there was a woman, we mentioned this in the green room, that was a television newscaster,
Mm-hmm.
and she actually quit her job and bought a pharmaceutical company for the marijuana pot growing business because she was going to make a lot more money.
Make a lot more money. So so people are, like I said, it's all about, about the money, really.
And I think that before you can make money in that business, you should be someone who doesn't indulge in that business.
Well,
yeah.
I would hope not, but hey, we never know.
So this is like what, prohibition or whatever, the alcohol thing?
As a matter of fact, yes. As a matter of fact, it reminds you of the prohibition of the alcohol.
Okay.
And alcohol was coming, yeah.
I have never heard of anyone, at least knock on wood at this point, getting into a hit and run pot accident. We hear of alcohol all the time.
Yes.
And but I haven't heard of somebody being so stoned on pot that they had an accident.
Well, if you take a look at what happened in Colorado, that did have an increase. In Colorado, and that's why we have to need it.
In automobile accidents?
Automobile accidents, they have an increase in automobile accidents.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I said we need to take a very close look at what happened there with Colorado and also Vegas, and try to make sure that the mistakes they made, we can capitalize on those errors,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that we're not making the same ones here. Because, yeah.
I do know, we have 1 minute and 12 seconds. Schizophrenia, some people when they said the up and the downside. When they would smoke marijuana, they could get kind of wacky, crazy. I'm thinking, was it the part where if they got sleepy, wacky, crazy, and they stay home, or if they're trying to drive? It's going to be like the alcohol, You should not consume and drive.
Eventually, I'm pretty sure that's what they will probably be putting on some of the on the bottles or whatever they're going to be selling it. They probably going to have to put it on there, and you cannot drive under the influence. Because alcohol, you cannot drive under the influence.
That's right.
And I'm pretty sure we're coming down to the same thing here.
We got 28 seconds. And I heard an attorney say, and this is what scared me, is that the pot they're talking about now, the pharmaceutical pot, is a lot different than the old dirt pot that was around when we were coming up as children in our days. I mean, that was just dirt and I guess the seeds. But pharmaceutical, I don't know what else they're putting in there.
Well, I don't, that's why they have a lot of the testing now, in order for them to be able to test to see what it is, how much THC is in the marijuana.
Well, we're all done and we're straight from the halls of justice. Join us next week where we'll have, I don't know if we can come back with this conversation, but we'll have an interesting topic because this was hot.
Well, Wanda, thank you for inviting me. I had a wonderful time here with you. I really did.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
And the city of Compton is very blessed to have you.
And thank you. And I'm looking forward to continue to serve.
Yes.